What's going on, boys and girls, and welcome to another live chat with the boys on Junkyard Breaks. What's going on, boys?
It's happening.
How's everything going?
Pretty good.
That booth behind me was filled with boxes. I think I've recorded like 25 box videos in the last, I don't know, 2 days.
Those are
Nice.
boxes you're selling, or boxes you're breaking, or boxes you're selling for somebody else?
It's like that thing over there. I just had a crate filled with retail that I just hadn't opened. I got nothing. I really got nothing. A lot of basketball. It may just be I don't know these guys. I as I said in some of the videos, my channel has been comic centric for a while and not really keeping up with the rookies. So when I open up like a box of Bowman and I'm like, I have no idea who these people are.
I mean, I've never been a big basketball follower, but I always felt like I kind of knew who were the guys, the rookie guys.
That's the worst.
And because I don't watch Sports Center like I used to watch Sports Center. I either leave for work a little too early, or I have the kids and getting the kids at school in the morning. I don't watch Sports Center anymore, and so I really have zero concept of,
it's bad.
I mean, I would assume if somebody's like the next LeBron James, you wouldn't be able to avoid it. It would just kind of be in the air, But
so this is like the basketball class once removed from LaMelo Ball, right? So this guy, Cade Cunningham, is on the cover of the Prism boxes, and I have no idea who he is. I didn't even know he got drafted first overall, or even if he got drafted first overall. So I'm like, there's all these rookies. I have no idea who anybody is. Could be like the best rookie in basketball. I have no idea. It's terrible. I tried. During COVID, I tried basketball again. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's just it's a different game. It's like every team has two guys that they just give the ball to, and then everybody else just kind of runs around. I don't know.
I always thought I would like it more too, because there's only like 11 dudes on each team, so you can remember all those dudes. There's only 300 guys in the league.
Right.
That's like not even 6 football teams.
Mm-hmm.
I just posted our live link to the Discord server I'm a part of.
Nice.
Cool, man.
So wanted to see if anybody was going to pop in or not.
Christopher, is your Discord community like a paid community, or is it just a...
No, it's just a free... the guys, there's like 3 guys that do a podcast, and they started like the hashtag crossover comics on TikTok and started a Discord, and it's like...
That's cool.
It's pretty much anybody that they associate with at that point. You could just comment or like their videos once and ask to join, and they let you in, and it's a very cool community. So
cool.
Everybody's chill, everybody's into what they're into, nobody says bad. It's pretty much, if you're not into it, you just keep your mouth shut, and it's fine. It's cool.
I just asked because I know a couple of working at the university, I meet like a lot of kind of kids who are doing really well with like a super side hustle, and it's usually a sneaker hustle or something like that. And a number of those kids are part of like kind of these paid Discord communities where they basically share best practices about like how to actually get the shoes or the comics or the this or the that on the when they're dropped, and best channels to move that product and that kind of thing. So
no, it's cool. A bunch of kids, but it's fun.
Yeah,
it's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
Yeah, Crumbs is like Wu-Tang for the children.
That's right.
There's very little difference between you and the Wu-Tang.
Minute.
So, anybody got anything going on this week? Oh, you guys went to the little sale,
the warehouse sale.
Sunday.
We did.
Yeah, I posted my video. Chris, you posted your TikTok video.
I did.
Yeah, and whatever. Like you said, I paid retail, overpaid and underpaid for other stuff.
Right. It was, but like I said, I mean, I made some nice dents in in the Swamp Thing collection.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I can't really be mad at that. But I did get something today.
Cool.
What'd you get?
Remember, Year of the Collector was in here the one day. He has a Whatnot page, and I saw this, and it's a Brian Boland cover.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I like that.
And
cover.
I was like, ooh, what do you want for that? And he's like, I don't know, just send me $6 on Venmo. I was like, sweet. So,
and that's with the shipping, so that's, you paid nothing.
yeah, it was a good deal.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, he's on the Discord server too. Like, there's a couple Whatnot sellers, and the one guy I was telling Dolph has a Swamp Thing art. What is it? It's a
Storyboard.
Storyboard, yeah. But
awesome.
I was asking him about it, and he didn't send me any details. Then I kind of ran into him on a live yesterday, and he said that he's like, yeah, it's from the first appearance of Constantine. I was like, really?
yeah, 37.
37, Rick Veitch. I'm in. I'm all in.
That's crazy.
So I can't wait to see what this thing looks like. He's like the middleman. He knows somebody who has it. Said I might know somebody who's interested. So just waiting.
Somebody who knows somebody.
Yeah, it's like we're in Jersey. We know a guy.
I was gonna say, you Jersey guys always got a guy.
We know a guy.
You got it.
In Central PA, I got no guys. I mean, there's guys that sell at flea markets. I guess those might be my guys, but
nah, you gotta know a guy who knows a guy.
I was gonna say, even some of those dudes are not my guy. Like I know their
Right.
shtick. Yeah, you're not my guy.
Listen, it's a prerequisite here. You're not allowed. You're not allowed to
Yeah.
live in Jersey unless you know a guy.
You have to have at least a guy.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys get the inkling that there was good stuff at that place the week before?
Last week there probably was.
He said
There was a
But-
couple.
He said there was a line down the street.
But the prices were probably like, if the prices were kind of on
Well,
the money for
She
the
adjusted
cheaper
mine
stuff.
$50. She adjusted Krista's $35.
Okay.
Like $40. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they came down.
Okay.
I got what 20% off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I paid on 190. I paid 150.
That's good. Yeah, that's
So, like I said, I mean, the guy. He was fair. He's very fair, And
also what you had said, I think your buddy said the guy was kind of a douche. I thought he was really nice.
well, my buddy's father said he was kind of a douche,
Oh,
but
your
that's what
buddy's
happens.
father. Yeah.
But that's what happens when you have two guys in the same business trying to beat each other out for shit. So.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I thought he was really nice.
No, he was
Very friendly, very helpful.
gave me his card.
Yeah.
Gave us both his card, and
they did clean outs. Is that what the business was?
Estate sales.
Estate sales, yeah.
I think the wife is the one she buys everything.
yeah,
But so here's the thing though, and I had a nice chat with a guy. He's like, he'd never really done this before. He opened up the warehouse. This is his second week he's opened it up, and now he's like, where like me in the past when I went to the flea market, the point is to liquidate.
Right, move product.
But now
right.
he sees that it's popular, so now he's like, I need to restock.
yeah.
So this is the thing. So at some point, it's been picked through. People are going to come and not buy anything.
Yeah.
Now you got to feed the monster.
Yeah.
Otherwise you basically close up shop and liquidate the 50 long boxes he had.
This is what I don't understand though. Like, I think not to get political, but this is why communism doesn't work in America, right? We can't be satisfied with enough. Like, you have to get a little bit more. You have to get a little more. Like,
a little taste of success too.
Guys, these liquidation guys are getting stuff on next to nothing. But it has to be found to come to them, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden they're going to be like, well, now I'm a comic book guy. You don't know jack squat for the most part about comic books. And then if you go seeking it out, chances are you're not going to get it at liquidation prices anymore.
No.
So then even that, I'm not saying this is not definitive. There's very few things that are definitive in life. But like, the success rate, if you are seeking it out, is going to be much lower than if
sure.
you're not if you're just happy with when it comes to you, right? Like,
well, I mean, his card says that he's the #1 New Jersey for estate sales. Number
Right.
1 in New Jersey for estate sales. So I mean, he's probably prolific. He's probably buying up lots and lots of stuff. I mean, he filled up a big giant room of long boxes.
Yeah.
no, I don't doubt that, but
But
like,
I'm just saying,
you know,
I'm not.
weekends, like all the good
I'm-
stuff is
I'm-
gone, right?
Yeah, but
like,
I'm also certainly not implying that he didn't know anything about comics.
Yeah,
He knew his
he seemed
stuff.
to know a thing or two.
The only thing is, a lot of people in that room were turned off by the fact that it was not in any kind of order. at
Right,
all.
right.
Some guy's
Yeah,
like,
but-
I'm looking for X-Men, and the guy's like, it's everywhere. And the dude's like, man, I ain't looking for, like... And he just walked out. I was like, all right,
Well, you can tell at some point it might have been in some kind of order
maybe.
because you were finding chunks of things.
Chunks of things, exactly.
And then like, you know, two, 3 long boxes down,
Yeah.
you'd find like a scraggler here and there, and then another chunk somewhere.
Yeah.
So like people
when-
were sifting through and
that could have been the chunks in whomever he probably acquired these in
Yeah.
many collections.
But here's
Yeah.
the problem is the chunks were like, it was a lot of Superman. A lot of action, a lot of Superman, a lot of Green Arrow, a lot of Green Lantern, a lot of JLA. So there's a lot of DC.
bunch of
in
Flash
chunks.
too. So quite
Yeah,
a bit of
there's
Flash.
a lot of Flash. But like all the Marvel stuff, even the Spider-Man. I didn't buy any Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like Web of, or it was all too modern. It
Yeah.
was all Ultimate stuff, like Ultimate FF. Like it was just nothing worth buying. So like, you know, in my videos, I saw a lot of star #1s like Heathcliff and Strawberry Shortcake, and you know, I probably bought them for $5 to $10, but it's fine. I like them anyway.
Yeah.
It was definitely a buy that made me happy, and not a buy for any kind of value.
Yeah. Well, same here, because all those Justice League Dark, those new 52 Justice League Dark, there's nothing in that. But for me, I really like that run.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to grab these. And then obviously with the Swamp Thing, that's like my new,
Yeah.
you know, I want to do it up with that stuff. So
Right.
the fact that he had like Nancy Collins stuff, which is like one of my favorite runs, and then the Mark Millar, I was like, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Like I bought that 4-book run of Puppet Master and the
Yeah.
3-book miniseries for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Like these aren't worth anything. I just wanted to have them.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did have a Dark Horse Tank Girl 1. He wanted $250 for it. He came down to $200, but I was seeing online I can get him for like $150. Great, I can get him graded for $200, like a 9.2.
Yeah.
This is what I mean about like he doesn't necessarily know about comics. Like if you're just going to price things and you're going to price them top of the top, if he didn't put them in order, then he probably was not. You know, I would almost venture a guess as to say he may have hired somebody to look stuff up
Maybe.
and price it too.
Either that or him and his wife sat there and looked everything up.
Which they may have, because it seemed like it was spot on retail. Like that Ewok book that I pulled out.
Mm-hmm.
He had it marked at 75. Chris looked up the comps. I looked up some of the comps after the fact, and he even looked. I said, "Can you reprice this for me?" He came back at $50, but the first thing he said was, "There's a 9.2. It sold for $130." I was like, "This is not a 9.2."
Right.
I said this is a mid grade.
$30 for grading.
Yeah,
like
it's like a 5.50 best. It had like a bunch of spine ticks. It was dirty as hell. I was like, you know, I'm a cleaner and a presser like this. I have to put like a couple of hours of work into to maybe get a 6.5 out of it, and I wouldn't grade it anyway.
Yeah.
You know, it's just
the majority of everything there were reader copies.
Readers, yeah.
Yeah.
Very little nearment.
Yeah, little to none. Even, I mean, the books that I picked up are in pretty good shape, but they don't look like they were like you could see which were newer and which weren't, because the ones that I grabbed were in cleaner bags and boards, so they were maybe cared for a little bit better in whoever's collection he got it from. But there was a lot of stuff there that was pretty thrashed.
Yeah, I got that Justice League Dark 1 through 9 on my eBay right now, Chris. That
Do you?
52. Yeah.
He did make more
All right.
cards. I'm assuming.
Yeah, they're stupid clean too. One of them, issue 6 has a small corner crunch, but the other 8 issues are really
Oh, I
nice.
did not study with him, but he did make more.
Yeah, that first cover,
That was-
I really like
that
the
was
cover
really
artist
really
too.
well with him yesterday.
He has some tendencies to look a little like Adam Hughes too, which like there's
Some-
one
yeah.
cover where I was like, wait, and I was like, no, this isn't.
Yeah.
This isn't.
Brian Boland's like my new
It's
like
hard.
I
Oh,
really
Boland's
enjoy. I really enjoy his covers.
But it's
Yeah, Jimmy likes Boland too. But obviously, Jimmy tends towards the Hughes. I shouldn't say
Right.
tends for he is on the Hughes train. But I
There's a
did
long
get
one
that
under the desk.
about a year and a half ago. I got him that
All the long
the
cords I
iconic
went
Wonder
the
Woman
furthest
Boland
away,
cover,
so
the white
the one on
background with
printer, it's all
the
filled down
the
there.
shield, yeah.
yeah, that's such a freaking great cover.
That's actually another guy that I know who's selling on Whatnot has 2 copies, and I secured one of them. But I'm gonna
Oh,
wait
awesome.
until he has his next. He put it in there as Crumb's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I got it for $1 when I was at a
That's the internet.
at this place that same place I got my Secret Wars 8 for $20. Like that fella, I don't know if he just like fell in love with Harley Quinn a long time ago, but like any book that's got Harley Quinn in it, he's like about 30% over retail.
Right.
But a lot of other stuff, I don't know how he's pricing stuff, but I like the way he's pricing it. So I'm very excited whenever they get a new collection in. So.
All right, what do you brute force our network?
Let's see,
I've only
just
kind of gotten skunked
How are
one
these lemony
time.
things?
I bought
How-
Secret Wars 12. Is it the one with the cool
Oh,
Doom,
okay.
the shredded cover?
All right.
And it looked really nice from the cover, but when I got home, it had some water, considerable. I shouldn't say some, pretty considerable water damage on the back
Sorry,
cover.
boys.
But it was only like $4.
I was actually
Nice.
just watched a video on how to get like some guy had significant water damage on a cover, and it's pretty amazing what he did to get it out of there. I think I'm gonna try it on some tester books.
How do you do it? Like,
So
do you add a solution and then dry, or
he completely wet the cover, and then
Uh-huh.
did a sandwich with regular printer paper, and then he put it under silicone sheets so nothing would stick, and it did pull some of the staining out. And
Interesting.
he just kept doing it over and over, and every time he did, it kept pulling some of the staining out. And then he did do.
didn't like weaken the paper though, or he must have been super.
It should have. Well, no, it doesn't. It shouldn't weaken the paper. You're just moistening it. You're just relaxing the cells. So,
Right.
but what
How
is
wet are we talking?
it's still doesn't matter as long as there's a drying stage, so everything just rebonds. Like it doesn't weaken. Now he did do a soak in hydrogen peroxide, and he left it under UV overnight, I think, and that also significantly removed the water stain.
Interesting.
And it didn't discolor or fade the book either. It came out really nice. I gotta watch that again. But it was interesting. Not something I would even attempt until I tested it a lot. Because not only that, I never tried hydrogen peroxide and UV. That's one way to do it, but I'm not set up for that.
Well, I think there's got to be some good water stained examples in like those 200 books I gave you for buttons.
Yeah.
so-
Also, my own personal collection, I got tons of stuff that's pretty stained up.
Those
Yeah.
things for
Yeah.
everything they're worth.
Yeah,
you know?
I definitely. If I don't use them for puttons, I can certainly use them for practice. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Hey Jay, take them down. I'll send you 45 and just bring them with you next time.
What, those books?
Yeah, I'll take them.
Okay.
When are you back in the area?
I may be out there next week. Jimmy might need some help moving some stuff. So he had asked me because I guess they're supposed to get their laser engraver or whatever. What are they getting? The thing for the business. So they're supposed to be getting that piece of equipment, and he had asked for some help. So I might be out there next weekend, but not sure as of yet.
Maybe the weather's nice.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Next week's supposed to. No, next week we're supposed to have some weather moving in, from what I understand.
I mean,
Christopher, are you on schedule for tomorrow to get your book?
I did not see him today, which makes me
Oh,
believe no.
No.
But that's all right. I'll get him. He's avoiding me this week, so I'm not even. So I'm just going to work tomorrow. When I see him, I'll. Hey, man.
oh, get this. I went to JC because he's giving me some more books to press.
Yeah.
And he told me he picked up this nice collection. Guess whose collection he bought?
Yours?
Freaking Marty, the guy that I was gonna consign down at the shore. He
Like
bought that storage locker.
The beautiful Punisher book, that one?
No, that one. No, not that one. No, that the guy down the shore who had the Bowen statues and 100 long boxes.
Oh, okay.
He bought that.
Oh.
Yeah, the one who called me up, and after I thought we had a pretty good deal, he's like, "Hey, some guy offered to buy it all. Do you mind?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever."
That was like
That's who it was.
That
That was like
And that's who it was, JC.
But that was a while back, right? That collection was in like summertime.
No. I passed on it around Thanksgiving, I think, is when he called me.
Oh, okay.
That's about when he called me for me to be like, eh.
But you guys were talking about consigning it much earlier, though, right?
Then he's like, his sons picked through it. Then he had back surgery, and then his sons wanted to go through it
That
again,
guy.
and yeah. So it was excuse after excuse after excuse,
Yeah.
and then he's like, he wanted to move it in bulk. I was like, all right, whatever. He wanted 20 for it. I doubt he got that. And talking to Jeff at JC, I doubt he even paid that. But I offered him through Comic Fortress. I offered him 7.
What was like left in it? I mean, obviously the Bowen statues.
No idea.
What were the?
It was pure speculation because when I went to the locker to buy the collection or to look at it, I grabbed 2 boxes and it was 2 longs of Valiant. I said, it's not looking good. If this is what's here, I don't want it. And I'm not going to offer you more than $30 a long box. He's like, $30 a long box. He's like, I'm like, yeah, this is not what anybody wants. Like, I'm going to end up selling this for $30 a long box when I pick through it and not sell it. Like,
I mean, I really think now too, like, the market's receding the way it has a little bit. You really have to be careful about taking on like $20,000 books. You can't move.
Yeah, but like you said, if you pick 2 long boxes and it's Fallon Comics, you're not getting top dollar.
Right. No. I completely agree. I guess that's what I mean, Chris. Like you're right. Like I think if they're not willing to let you really look and make sure that the value's there, that's 100% the way you have to do it, Dolph. Like you have to offer them, because you're just basically hedging your bets, Yeah. Because if you can't move that stuff at $1, $2, $3, you don't find, tons and tons of, $5 to $50 keys.
And it was it's sight unseen.
That's
I haven't even gone through the collection.
Right.
Unless you want me to, give me the keys and open the door, and I'll, dig through there for an entire weekend and go through every long box and come up with a realistic price. But I mean, that was a big deal. That and not only that, I told him he probably sold it for a little over 10 because he was asking 20. But I know I could have got him way more than that if we consigned it. I was ready to put his whole collection on Whatnot. I would have got like, maybe $5 a book the way those guys on Whatnot buy things.
Well,
what were some of the key books or bangers that JC had?
JC did say there was a second print TMNT 1 in there. There was some nice stuff, but not a lot of it.
Yeah.
So he did all right, and I was happy for him.
Sure. Yeah,
I just think I got the phone call, and it was easy for me to just walk away from that one because 1, I was feeling a little overwhelmed. 2, I have Richard's collection to pay attention to, and I'd rather do that. I didn't want to over, and not only that, in 2 different genres too. So 1 is cards, 1 is comics. It's like almost a different frame of mind when you're moving one versus the other. Like cards are easier to move in bulk than comics are.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a crap comic, somebody will buy 100 Minnesota Twins cards from the 70s.
Sure.
That's just
Right.
the reality of it.
Right.
But yeah, you take the same thing, like a run of Robin 3. Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it. So.
And just from a spatial point of view, 100 sports cards.
Exactly. Yeah, there's that
big.
too. Sure, of course.
You know,
Yeah.
100 comic books is this big, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, comics are
Definitely
voluminous. Yeah, comics are voluminous, and so are trades, and so are omnibuses. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
right,
we
yeah.
know enough guys that fill entire rooms with omnibuses and trades. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah,
a
it's
nice
nuts.
display, Chris. And I have one going up the stairs in a little like window alcove. It's filled with trades. I love it.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, you should see the other side. It's just a pile.
Oh, is there?
A
Nice.
box. Oh, it's horrible.
Is that where the Christmas tablecloth is?
No, that's
Is
my
upstairs?
yeah, that's my dining room.
That was pretty funny. That was the outro to that video. Is I
Yeah.
hope you enjoyed my Christmas tablecloth.
Oh, I didn't get to watch your video that you posted
TikTok.
about what you posted.
I put it up on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh, what's on the
It's
I
on
gotta-
the TikTok.
I gotta work
keep
on-
up with these kids.
Yeah, me and Chris were talking on the drive home from that sale, and I was like, I gotta up
do
my
it, man.
TikTok game.
And anything you post, I'll repost. I'll tag you and stuff. Like, I'll help you out as much as I can.
I
Naturally.
know TikTok it's easier to gain viewership on TikTok than it certainly is on Instagram. Instagram, you got to work on it a little bit more, but they're there. They're hungry for new content.
Yeah.
YouTube is the hardest, that's for sure. To get people watching is tough on YouTube.
Yeah.
If I get 5 new subs in a week, I'm like ecstatic.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
really
I'll
what
tell-
I think really interesting about YouTube is just like the content creators that resonate and people actually watch the content versus just follow the creator too, because I understand it's a personal thing, but like out of all the comic creators that I watch or content creators in general, because I watch some sports card guys and I like a lot of the music like breakdown kind of stuff. I've never really understand necessarily why one is so much more popular than like Bronze and Modern Gods. I think their content is really, really good, and I very much like a lot of other creators, but some of the other creators, I think they're probably on par, or they may even add nearly as much value, at least to my eyes. They got like 4 or 5 times the followers. Their
Right.
watches are like through the roof and stuff like that. It's really hard to understand. You're right. That is a tough nut.
Then you watch a guy like Bryce Comics who does, and even James Minhunter. He does some educational videos. Like he tells you he'll pick a topic and he'll talk about
Sure.
that topic. Like and that's actually decent content. Where I'm not sure what I offer, what's different, to the community, which is probably why I haven't seen that growth. Like I just open up boxes. I certainly don't know what I should know. I'm not good at the players as like I should be. I'm just, I think the only thing that I offer is me. Is it? That's it. My personality is the only thing that I really have to offer.
But I guess that's what I mean. Like, I really love Gary's content, but
Yeah,
Gary
Gary's is
doesn't
good.
do Gary doesn't do like a lot of these bigger educational videos or anything like
No,
that.
he doesn't.
He basically opens boxes and shows collections and stuff like that.
I bought a collection. Here you go. Like even
I mean, I
CG.
guess he does the cover price things, the cover price 2 years later and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
But,
CGL got subscribers. He got almost the same amount of subscribers as me in 1/3 of the time, and all he's doing is showing videos of him buying stuff at flea markets. I was even doing that in the beginning, and it wasn't gaining me subs. So I don't know what he's doing that I wasn't doing.
That seems to be a very interesting. Like there seems to be a lot of interest in that that now.
Yeah,
at least
garage sale flea market finds is definitely a popular theme, for sure.
I mean, I'll even find myself like because of the whatever the caption is, I'll be like, "Oh, what grail did they find?" And then you look at it and it's like, if that's a grail, I found 7 of those in the last month. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And but I guess I do, and I still enjoy watching them.
Sure,
you know,
yeah.
on their hunt. But I guess from a standpoint, it's interesting because typically I'd be like, I feel cheated by this bait and switch, but I don't necessarily feel that's.
I love Froggy Flips is a great
Yeah,
garage sale guy that I love watching. He's a lot of fun, and he knows a lot of the same things that I know. So like if he finds something, he also does video game stuff. That's also why I like Chase After the Right Price. Those guys are big video game guys, and I try to learn a little bit from them because I don't know much about video games, but it's something that I love, but not as a collector. Then there's the record guys, and I don't know anything about that stuff. That's like so hot right now.
Yeah, it's my buddy Jeff. My buddy Jeff knows like anything. He owns a record shop, so but I've watched him pick through collections, and I'm just absolutely amazed at my buddy Jeff, who I was at the toy show with, who has all the Star Wars stuff, the vintage Star Wars figures.
Yeah,
he owns the record shop, and he knows records inside and out. It's pretty amazing.
That's cool. You know what?
Yeah, I really like records. I like the records as a format and stuff like that. But man, like I don't know. My brain can't handle any more than one. Any one thing that is this wide and stacked many times in a box, I was like, oh God, I can't learn a complete another thing that's got a 60-year history. At least my brain doesn't have enough space for it,
Yeah. That's why I've kind of stuck to comics and cards. I don't really want to, like, I haven't gone into action figures like Crumbs does, and I certainly could play in that pond, but I'm much more happier staying in my own lane as far as that goes. I take chances, like Chris, when I went out to Pennsylvania, I'll take a shot on something just because the price seems really good. And I made 5x on that deal, so I did fine, but I won't do it too much. Like I did get burned on that box of Millennium Falcon parts, and I'm like, it's still in the garage. I can't give that shit away for $15, and it seemed at the time was like $20. That's like the best deal ever. And I was like, this is garbage. I can't give it away.
Yeah, you know how many Millennium Falcon holes there are? It's
it's amazing. Yeah,
it's the parts. If there's certain parts, and you'll make a mint if you can find them, but that's just it. Good luck finding them.
Yeah, I'm like creatively thinking on what I can turn it into, because it's completely worthless, or just give it to Goodwill or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I found a hole in at a Goodwill store. And I bought it for $5, and it's like literally hanging in my garage over my lawnmower.
That's why I thought, like, how can I go wrong? I can get $5 for the Millennium Falcon and $15 for the rest of it. Like, I thought it was such a great deal. Not so much. That was pretty crazy.
It happens.
Whatever. I mean, I've drifted into other lanes and got burned a lot, especially during COVID. I bought a watch that was a fake. It's like $5. I paid like $80 for it. Like, I mean, I got burned and burned and burned. So I don't know. Just learn the hard way, I guess.
We all go through it with whatever it is,
Yeah, exactly. We all have that tote of stuff that we swear is we might as well wrap a cinder block around it and put it in a body of water somewhere. It's just a constant memory when you go into the basement or whatever that you can't move that the stuff
right. Well, that's like, and then on the other end of that, it's like you end up you have stuff, and like at the toy show, I would bring stuff there, and people would pass by like, "Oh, you got this! Holy cow!" And then they keep walking. It's like,
yeah.
All right.
I was at a toy shop relatively locally here this past week, and I saw like these Monster High dolls, like these girls' dolls from about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I remember.
And really expensive, and I was like, what? And then I looked online, and I don't know who's buying them, but they are very expensive.
Yeah.
And this is what Lucy had like in spades as a small child.
Oh
So
man.
I instantly text Beth and was like, did your mom liquidate all of Lucy's Monster High dolls?
Oh, that sucks.
Like at a yard sale? And she's like, probably. I was like, dang it, we probably could have paid for a
Yeah.
Taylor Swift ticket with those things.
I mean,
Right.
just think of like, well, Jason, you're a little bit younger than us, but 5 years younger than you are Pokemon kids. I mean,
Yeah,
you're looking
absolutely.
at potential millionaires if they all had first edition Charizards. I
Yeah,
mean,
no kidding.
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like the value, and not only that, you forget about just Pokemon. Like you talk about like Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh,
Magic, yeah.
and there's some really valuable stuff there that
Absolutely.
kids 10 years younger than us are probably just playing with, and not having a care in the world for it.
Right.
Yeah, it's really interesting,
That's why, from what I understand, I was just in one of the Discord chats that they were talking about just that, and they were saying that the Pokemon cards, those were more collected, but
Yeah.
the first gen, second gen Magic cards, the reason why they're so expensive is because people actually played those games,
Yeah.
Play games, yeah.
and the cards are not in as good condition. So
Sure.
Right, and they probably would. I mean, I'd imagine that the average age of the Magic player was a little older than probably 5 to 10 years older than your average Pokemon.
I would even say it was my generation because I remember me and my friends all going. Me and my friends were all going to the mall and buying packs of it. I just don't,
Right.
I told Chris, I left all my Magic cards on a radiator and they all fried. So
Yeah.
I threw them all out.
like I
Yeah.
said, there's a long box somewhere
Yeah.
of Magic cards that never got played with, and I'm like, if I can only find these things,
Yeah,
I bet you I have something.
Jimmy and I did not play D&D or anything like that, and I feel like there was probably a lot of crossover because it was kind of your first a first kind of a tabletop game since then that was resonating in or hitting quite as the same way, right? Like
Right.
hitting quite as hard the same way. Yeah, I don't know. I was taking Griffin around this weekend, and there is a part of me that the old man nostalgia about me that is very sad for my 8-year-old that there are not legitimate toy stores anymore. Like he got to go to the Toys R Us by U3, the one that was right by Jimmy's house. He got to go there once when he was the Black Friday when he was 3, and then the next year it closed, or maybe 4, and the next year it closed, and that's it.
Hey, Michael, how you doing?
There's nothing
Sorry.
like that. Hey, Michael.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, there's just nothing like that. It's
I'll be right back. Dog's freaking out.
Your dog's freaking out? Nice.
Dolph, I was wondering about a topic for tonight. I was wondering if you guys have thought about what you probably more than Chris because you're in cards, like the census counts of comics, right?
Mhm.
Because I think you had mentioned this to me a while back when I got the Silver Age collection. He said I think you told me like you should look at some of the random issues, even if they're not keys, if they're really, really nice.
Yeah, you had some nice quality comics. So some
Consider
of them
getting
were worth graded if they were like a 7.0 plus.
Yeah, and I've moved a lot of that stuff now, but now I'm thinking about it because I still have a lot of the books that were like $30, $40.
Because I know the stuff I got from you this was really nice condition.
Yeah, you're gonna crush it on that first Silver Age Spectre because I think that was pretty nice, and that book is really
That's a great
doing well right now.
Is
yeah.
it? Yeah, it's a nice. It was a beautiful book.
Showcase 59 or Showcase
something
60,
like
something.
that. Yeah.
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 But yeah, I'm really considering that now, just because I watched some Chris Sewell did that video about highest pop counts for PSA 10s. Did you watch that video?
I mean, I know what they are. Like the Griffey card is one of them. I know like Luca. It's like the market's flooded with Luca and Zion, and
Yeah, it was incredible, actually.
Yeah.
I was surprised that it was the Griffey Tops Traded was the one with the highest pop count of the
Really?
Griffey. Yeah, the
Oh, I did
Griffey
not know that.
Tops Traded in a PSA 10 had the highest count of the Griffey rookies, and
Wow.
but I think the highest population count of any card, I believe you're right, was a Zion.
It's got to be either
Prism.
the Lucas Silver or the
Prism.
Zion, the Prism cards. Yeah, they were
It was
sending them
like-
in like crazy.
It was like 22,000 tens
Yeah.
or something
Not,
like that.
Not only that, it's what they're made of too. So they're all going to come back high grade unless there's
Yeah.
scratches on them. They're all going to grade
Yeah.
high.
There's printer scratches.
Yeah, it's just the
printer
nature of that acetate card, which
Yeah.
it's not paper. So unless the acetate is, banged up, it's going to grade nice. But yeah, Zion's hot garbage. I don't. That guy is just the laziest human being on the world. I just can't believe that people are investing in that dude. And
Yeah, it was just
somebody
really-
spent $1 million on one of his cards. I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
I was looking at Jordan rookies last night just to see if I could ever get one, and even like the 4 O's are like $5,000. I'm like, nah. I was like, unless I'll just find one day.
What's the pop count on that? There's got to be
Jordans?
tens of thousands, right? Like in PSA.
Jordans are high because don't forget, there's like 3 in a box, and they printed the crap out of that. There's 3 in a wax box, and
Yeah,
they
36 cards
Yeah.
times 12.
Yeah,
so what's
they
that?
made a lot of them. So, no, you didn't miss the top 10. We didn't do it yet. We're kind of just we're like randomly chatting off topic, actually.
Yeah, just kind of spitballing tonight.
So, did you have an idea for a
freestyle.
topic, or
No, I was just thinking about talking about
The pop
what
counts?
our teams are, pop counts. Yeah,
Yeah.
like if we ever consider it, because I'm seeing more and more in the sports card arena, like these pop counts of
so that I mean
Yeah,
that goes with like stuff that I have right here.
Yeah.
I have been hunting down like these really I don't know about what this is specifically, but I've been looking for high grade odd stuff. This
Yeah.
one might even be it's like a 1979 Stevie Wonder card, which was really high grade, and I like the look of it. But I don't know. I don't even know how many were graded or whatever. This is the Stevie
Sure.
Wonder card. Now look at that. I lucked out. I got a bunch of packages here, and I lucked out. So yeah, I'll open this one up and show you. But I thought, and I grabbed some Planet of the Apes cards that were high grade.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I decided to actually go for it. I hadn't before, but I decided to start putting together the 66 Batman set now.
Yeah, I was gonna say you have
I have a good amount of them.
Batman 66.
Yeah.
You're always picking up Mars Attacks.
Yeah, so this
Yeah.
is a really, really nice card. I definitely would consider getting this graded. I mean, that's super sharp. It's perfectly centered.
Stevie's looking
It's
dope.
it's and it's an Italian Panini card from like the 70s.
It's really funny because the border makes it look like a 90 upper deck.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it does. So yeah, I
is
mean
that
that's
Stevie Wonder or Frank Thomas.
that's a nice card.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
so-
even the border's clean. Like it's a good.
Everything's
like it's probably-
it's super clean. So like if I sent this out and it came back a 9, maybe a 10, like I think the $250 shipped that I paid for this is certainly worth
sure.
the $15 to send it in.
Yeah.
So like these are the kind of things that I've been like sniping on eBay. Those like high grade non-sports oddball stuff that that just kind of looks interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Low pop.
The vintage Spider-Man cards are making a big comeback. A lot of people are starting to collect those.
Yeah, some of them. I know the heavy hitter is the I think it's the 42 Superman cards. Those, even the commons, go for $100. The number 1, the Superman 1, goes for thousands of dollars in low grade. But I'll tell you, if you have any at home, high grade 77 Star Wars, if they're 10s, they go for a lot of money. I saw a Gemmin 10 R2D2. It's not even the blue border; it's the green border. It went for $1,000. Like, it's crazy.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
green border's what, like series 2?
Green border is 2. Yellow is
Is
3.
series
I forgot the color coding. Yeah, and this was like a little cheapo. We're going into some mail call without even knowing it. I think this was like
Accidental mail call.
Yeah.
Yeah. My buddy Dolph, I think I mentioned it to you. He got the goldenrod the same weekend that you got.
That's right. I know.
Goldenrod, and his is pretty freaking clean, other than centering. And I was like, bro, I think you got a really good deal on this, because I think he paid either $35 or $40 for it,
Yeah.
which he thought was pretty steep. But I was like, I'm pretty sure that most of these at $40 are like have fuzzy corners and stuff like that, and this did not have that in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, this was a 1983 football lot that I bought. It had like Terry Bradshaw, Doug Williams, three Joe Montana record breakers. It had Ronnie Lott in it and Dexter Manley. It was so cheap, it was like $4. So just got some semi-vintage football. I don't know. I'll be right back.
Vintage foosball.
Yeah, so Christopher, I was just telling Dolph when you went to quell the pups, or quell the dogs, that he had mentioned to me back when I got the Silver Age collection that some of the like later stuff was in really good shape, and I should consider like looking at getting like some random issues graded, because there probably not a lot of them in those grades. And at the time, it was like, I don't know. And now, after I've sold, 2/3 of them, I was like, these books that I have left still are in really nice shape.
Right.
And now I'm like, I'm not regretting the stuff I sold, because I was, I needed to move stuff. But I have a ton of the later stuff. That's the stuff I tend to have left, and some of it's in really stinking good shape, which is really incredible for books from like '67 and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
Just really, really kind of incredible condition. So I am going to consider really going through it with a fine-tooth comb and picking out some that I think, because there's a couple in here I was like, I think those could hit 9s, like pretty incredible, especially if I send them to Dolph to press, at some point in time in the future. I think there's certainly books that the biggest apprehension is that I would still want to do fast track, because that era is taking a year if you don't do fast track. 3 weeks if you do. So
economy is so backed up, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
is Reese Labs. I've still got those Reese Labs, and
right.
Dude, I don't know. They were supposed to be 4 weeks tops, and they still have them. That's like over a month now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they went right back to being way the hell backed up. They got caught up. They were having a good turnaround for a minute, and now it's pandemonium again.
Yeah,
which is interesting, because I can't imagine that so many people are submitting now like they were before. Because
I can't.
Submitting everything under the sun before. I can't tell you how many books now I see on like Facebook Marketplace or something. I'm like, why would you have ever graded that book in the first place? And then it comes back an 8.5 or something for a book that may have been worth $10, as a raw book. So it's kind of brutal.
Well, I bought a lot of. They were already slabs. Somebody sold a collection. I think somebody had like the entire Star Wars Legacy run slabbed.
Wow.
And ridiculous. But they couldn't move them. Like this is back when I was still buying a lot from Torpedo, and they couldn't get rid of them. So they would have these like 50% off sales, and they would drop the price, and they would have another 50% off sale. So I ended up grabbing a bunch of them, just because I like the covers, and like Legacy's one of my favorite Star Wars runs. So I was like, you know what? I was like, screw it, and I got them pretty cheap. But anymore, what I've noticed is that certain the Marvel, like Star Wars, the 77 to 86, like commons are going for stupid money comparatively anymore. The first 10 issues in a good grade all go for over, less the keys. The non-keys go for like over $100.
It's so funny that they for a long time they just were undervalued.
They were dollar comics.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
once
you
you
could
get,
find them super cheap.
yeah, you could complete your runs pretty easily. Not
Still
anymore.
missing I'm still missing a few, but for the most part, I have that run just about complete. I think I'm missing out of 108 books. I think I'm
100,
missing
yeah,
maybe
100,
10.
is it 107 or
It's
108?
107, and then they did like
They did
right
that
in
one.
2015,
Yes,
right
that's right.
before, right when Marvel got the license back, they put out a 108.
Yeah. That's so stupid because they have to. They have, it makes all of the price guides and all the like chronological anthology type thing. It has to now say like 1977 to 2005.
Right.
Because there's an outlier that came out 19 years after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I still consider the issue 107 to be the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had like a 103 at that sale. I don't know if you saw
Did
it.
it? Yeah, I did see it.
It was late.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's like the last one or nothing, or towards the end they get low printed. I didn't know that.
Well, the last few were low prints. 107 was definitely the lowest.
Well, it's interesting, yeah, because like you guys are saying, most of the '80s books, the ones that that have those like your Star comics and stuff like that, they're just like the print counts were always pretty low. Like it's right. It was not. It's not like some of the '90s Image books where it's like, well, they refused to cancel the thing, and the print run just fell from 3 million to 6,000. Like they did with Spawn and stuff like that.
Well, that's why those Return of the Jedi, the '86 Final 17 vintage figures are worth so much because they were in clearance bins until like the '90s. Like seriously, you were able there's like the Death Star gunner who you can get like you were able to pay $1 for it in like carded.
Yeah.
And anymore, that's like a $400 figure. Like in the packaging, if you outside the packaging with the gun, it's like a $450 figure.
Really?
Yeah. I sold mine without because that blaster wasn't offered with any. It was a one-off. Like most of the blasters are recycled. They have several figures that had the same blaster, but the Death Star gunner was a one-off, and the blaster itself sells for $200. I sold that figure, very clean one, out of package for $170.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So, but those final 17s, like carded, are worth a lot of money. Like you're not paying anything less than like $500 a piece if you could find them.
Yeah, I was at a toy shop and I saw they had a carded and graded one of the Thundercats, and it was like $2,400, and I was like, that's insane. And then I looked it up on eBay, and I was like, oh wait, that's what that thing is. That's what that thing sells for. I was just shocked. I had no idea. Like I had no idea that there was like, and I don't know. I still don't know whether it was like, is the character's index finger bent and the rest, the one that's this one's worth $400, but this one's worth $2,400. I still don't know.
Skeletor, Skeletor,
yeah.
Skeletor.
Yeah, Megator.
That's what it was.
Yeah, in that Dana Carvey
classic bit. But yeah, if I if I knew what I knew now, because I had all that stuff.
Oh, forget it. I know.
I
still I told you I still have my Amana Man with his shrunken head staff. That thing's got to go for decent money.
It does go for decent money. That's a really hard one to find.
I want that. What's his name? Twi'lek, the droids one from Brazil. Isn't that the most expensive one?
From I don't know. I have to look.
Yeah, it's like he's blue. He's from it was only sold in Brazil. I forgot his name though. I thought it was like began with a twill something.
Well, boys, should we do the top 10?
Let's do the top 10. Michael's been
Mike,
waiting
let's not
patiently.
keep Michael in any more suspense.
I was going to say, Jimmy can't wait till it be over, and Michael can't wait for it to start.
Yeah.
So,
Where's my Zoom? There we go. Zoom meeting.
I think I actually have one again this week.
I have 9.
9?
I have 9.
Holy mackerel. I haven't looked.
Yeah, I have
Dude, are
9.
you kidding me?
Now I'm very intrigued as to which one Dolph doesn't have.
I was just...
Well, I know he has that. I know he has that. I know he has that. I know he has... Oh, I don't know he has that. I know he has that. Oh, man.
It's going to be pretty easy.
Huh?
It's going to be pretty easy.
It's going to be easy with this?
Yeah. You don't think so? Actually, let me look, because that one might have snuck in there. I just didn't know I had it. I have to look at the
If you say it's
the
not
date.
in there, then it must be Century 1. Is that the one you think you don't have?
I have to look at the data buy.
Is that the one you think you don't have? Century 1?
No, I have Century 1.
Dang it. Which is the other one that could have snuck by you? I mean, it wouldn't have snuck by you that you didn't have an All-Star Western 10, I don't think. Like, that would be tough to sneak by. Maybe it's Wolverine 88.
Yeah, I don't have it.
Is it the first one? Is it the Beatles one?
It's the first one. Yeah, the Beatles one.
I love that. This is from the Neil Adams runs, right?
Yeah, this predates Ra's al Ghul by like what, 6 issues?
5 issues.
5 issues.
227, right? Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't have this one. I have everything else.
But
then again, like, why is this on there?
Yeah, it's really interesting, right? Yeah,
where Chris said his friend appreciated that we're like, kind of say like this top 10 is complete BS.
Yeah, right.
Like, why is this book on there? Why are people specifically buying this book?
It's a great question. I don't know that any of the Beatles all of a sudden had a great week. I mean, there's only 50% of the Beatles left.
I don't know.
I did see an Instagram post with Paul McCartney and his daughter come across my newsfeed, but I think it was just dumb luck. I don't think they did anything special. Also, I think Paul McCartney's daughter looks a lot like 35-year-old Paul McCartney, which is very interesting to me.
Is that a good thing?
In the one particular picture I saw, I was like, is Paul McCartney's daughter Paul McCartney from the Get Back documentary?
Stella?
I think it was Stella. Yeah, Stella.
I have Batman 220 and 221. I do not have 220. I was just looking. I was like, I might have that.
Oh wait, so it says if you're looking for cause and effect as to why this issue had a stellar week of sales, look no further than World's Finest 10 variant that went on sale December 20th, featuring Paul McCartney singing karaoke with Superman in a festively decorated Batcave. The non-ratio variant is still selling in the $30 range.
That is not a reason.
I think the same exact thing, Dolph. Like, what? Because they released a weird cover in 2022.
Nah, I'm not buying
and this book from what, 1972, 1970. So something that was that was released 52 years ago.
This just makes me think that it's just pure coincidence and it has nothing to do with anything. Like, don't buy this book, people, please.
Yeah, I mean, buy this book if you love
if you love the Beatles.
Yeah, or like if you love classic Batman or Neil Adams, by all.
Yeah.
But don't buy it for more than you should buy it for.
How is it that much though?
$5.75. Well, that's high grade. That's high grade.
Yeah.
And it's silver Batman, Neil Adams. So all his stuff kind of went up. But this is ridiculous. I would never buy this book for $700. It means nothing.
Yeah, the $200 for a 4.0 I think is almost more egregious than the $5.75 for an 8.5.
Yeah,
right?
no kidding.
I mean,
you take that $700 for this book for a high grade, and you can get a mid-grade 180 Hulk
no contest.
First appearance of Wolverine. Which one?
No contest.
Yeah, exactly. Or it gets you, 60% of the way to your first Ahsoka Tano. I'd chip in another 300 for that. This is ridiculous.
Well, if you're staying within the same exact run, it can get you the. You can get you the one of the really classic Neil Adams covers from the same run that are going to have that staying power because of the cover.
This is ridiculous. Why it's on here? All right, let's forget about that. Let's go to the next one. All-Star Jonah
Western. Jonah Hex.
This is one of those. I'm telling you, it's low-hanging fruit. Because once you get into all those number ones, those big first appearances are all getting too expensive, and here's Jonah Hex first appearance of 5.0 for $300.
$300.
That's cheap for, and I'm not trying to pump my own book because, I do have one of these graded. It's not high grade, but I did not pay a lot for it. I think even then I paid $200 for it.
I always really like when people are like, oh, they're trying to pump up their own stuff. It's like, I don't know that any one person in even Comic Tom, he doesn't have that big an influence on an entire global market. You know what I mean?
I would disagree with that sports card investor douchebag. I mean, that's all he did, and he had a subscriber. He was putting everything behind the paywall, so.
Well, sure, that's true. That's true.
He's getting called out now for maybe SEC violations because he's putting card investor information behind a paywall, which is basically he's considering himself a trading stocks instead of cards. He's a shady dude. I don't like him. But he was certainly a guy what I'm buying now? I'm buying 1,000 Zion cards, and you should join me. I mean, that guy, he's classic pump and dump.
But I mean,
I'm not hey, I just bought a first Jonah Hex, so you should too.
Right,
let's drive the price together. No,
it's when did you buy your Jonah Hex? 12 years ago or something like that?
10 years ago, yeah.
I always thought this. I think this is such a cool cover.
It's a great cover.
I really like the blue banner at the top.
Very EC.
It is EC.
What's that? It is very EC.
I like the Jonah Hex, floating head, and El Diablo's in here too. That's the El Diablo from Suicide Squad.
Nice. That is a really cool cover.
Cool. I also like the Chunky Shadow. I mean, Jonah Hex is pretty diesel in that shadow.
Yeah. Good
times.
I think
I don't know exactly why that book is spiking, but if we compare this book to Batman 222, I do agree that I would much rather invest $206 in a 3.0 of this book than $200 in a 4.0 of that book.
I'll tell you how I started my first appearance collection. Was I went to Wiki or whatever website I can find and said I basically found a database of all the characters and all their first appearances, and I just started checking boxes. And Jonah Hex is a nice little upper level C character where he's had a movie already. It's not a bad first appearance. With Brolin, it wasn't bad.
It was good.
Yeah.
I always think that book is older than it is.
Yeah.
Just because I guess it's a Western, and I just assume all the Westerns predate the 70s. But
plus, it does look older too, like you said, and like Chris said, it does look older.
Yeah. A lot of those browns and stuff like that. So
yeah, exactly.
Like
the color palette is an old color palette.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris said, that trade dress kind of mimics those EC books that predate this by 20 years. So.
Yep. Like those three floating heads up there could be Crypt Keeper and Phantom Lady.
That's right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Some other creepos.
Exactly.
But I'm a fan of that one.
I like I think that's a great book at a great price. It's if you're talking about low B, high C main characters from DC Comics that may get rebirthed by Gunn. Who the hell knows? But I don't think they're.
I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if James Gunn put him in something.
No, I mean,
Do you know why? Do you know why I think this book's on the list this week?
yeah.
Because
Tell me.
everybody on Instagram the last 2 weeks was trashing the fact that people were buying this book like 3 months ago, and they were like, "I'll show you. I'll go out and I'll buy that book."
Yeah.
Like they made the book popular again. I mean, it's just hilarious. It is really, really funny.
I don't like the cover either. I think it's kind of gross.
No, it's not a good cover.
The anatomy's weird. It's like his head's just like popping out of the middle of his chest. It's just weird looking.
It is weird looking. Who did this? Kubert?
No. Is that Kubert? It is Kubert. Ooh. Yeah, everything just looks wrong. Like Deadpool with his arms up just looks like a bubble monster. He looks like the Michelin Man.
Right? Is it a black?
Does look like the Michelin Man.
Is it a black sun that's rising in the back? I mean, what is that? What is
the
that?
Top of Juggernaut's head. I don't know. Wolverine returns to America to meet Deadpool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, by all means, if you have this, like, if you have it in a '90s Wolverine run, fantastic for you. But I don't understand.
Just make sure you buy the deluxe, not the regular version. That there is a difference.
Yeah. I'm sure. I mean, I bet there is a lot of people who do like this kind of high contrast image. So if you're buying it because the artwork resonates and you want to put it on your wall, bravo. But if you're buying it,
bravo.
I don't think it's necessarily one of those classic covers that's going to resonate long term, and there's not that much that happens within the fact that
you get closer to the movie, maybe you make $50 on it if you buy it for $50. Like maybe you sell it for $100, but that's a maybe, and the timing is everything because there's a lot of these.
But again, if you're a big Wolverine or big Deadpool fan, and that's what it should be. Like,
you buy this one because you love it, not because you're intending on flipping it for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yep. All right. Next, this is a great book.
Moving on.
I love this book.
Yeah, this is a crazy. Did you buy yours a long time ago or after the movie when the prices dropped?
No. So actually, I bought mine I still have the JC. Well, no, I don't anymore because I bought it from JC Comics for $15. Back in the day when I was first started doing first appearances. So I got this book for $15. I never cleaned it, never pressed it. I think I want to crack it because mine's, I think, a 4 or 5. I definitely know I can make it better too, so I think I might crack it. There's a few that my early CGC stuff before I was a cleaner and a presser, I certainly would like to crack them and resubmit them. Like even my Spider-Man 300, I know I can make that one better. It's got some creases on it. Like I was a dumbass.
It is really perplexing why this book's not worth more money. I mean, I know
seriously, right?
Thanos is a bad guy, but you also got good guy first appearance
Drax,
in this.
Arrows,
you got
Star Fox.
I mean, going on here.
This is
the list goes on.
Right. So it's really interesting to me that this book doesn't get more love. I wonder if it's because of the cover, because are any of them? Is Drax on the cover?
Drax is on the cover, and the Blood Brothers on the cover.
Okay. So
you got
Thanos
the
is
two Blood Thanos is in the middle of the book, I think. He just makes a tiny appearance.
And is that Drax in the background? Where's Drax at?
That's Drax in the middle.
Really?
Yeah, that's Drax.
All right.
Drax the Destroyer in the comics is way different than. He doesn't look like that until Volume 3 of Guardians.
So he doesn't. So when the Guardians relaunch, which is the Guardians that we know in like 2000.
Batista's look is a much later version of Guardians. It's like Guardians Volume 3, which was a really good read, by the way. That's like there's a murder on Nowhere. That was really cool. The team is cool too.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I wonder if it's just the fact that Thanos is nowhere to be seen on the cover has held this book back in some way, shape, or form.
Maybe.
But still, I think it's a fantastic book. And why not?
Yeah.
Why not? So
Thanos' first appearance in this issue has not suffered on the secondary market, despite the characters. Thanos' first appearance in this issue has not suffered on the secondary market. I don't know. I think it certainly hasn't helped it though. It should be a lot more than it is.
Yeah, yeah, but it seems like this one's continued to appreciate slowly, right? Like
Yeah.
those classic books should, you know.
Yeah, this is going to be one of those evergreen books. It's just always going to be there.
I would like to see the census count too, because it's got the dreaded combination of a black spine and a white spine. The top third is white, the middle 40% is kind of black, and then the bottom whatever's left over.
Excuse me.
And the bottom 35% is multicolored. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's a great book.
Great buy.
No idea why this book's on the list. No key significance whatsoever.
This book is done better than I ever thought it would have done. I honestly did not think that Harley was this strong.
Yeah.
I mean, she's strong, but I didn't know. I honestly never thought in a million years that you'd get five Harley movies before you even got a second Superman, which is mind-boggling to me.
Did you think that they could do 5 bad Harley movies before you got a second Superman?
Yeah, they're all. I mean, I liked her in the second Suicide Squad. She wasn't good in the first Suicide Squad. I hated the Harley Quinn movie, but I loved her in the second Suicide Squad.
Yeah, was it? Which one were the Gotham City Sirens in? Was that the second Harley movie?
The Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey.
It was terrible.
That was made like a B movie, but with like a.
It was bad. It was
like
a
movie budget, you know, like
it was like a CW movie.
It
was terrible. Yeah. It was terrible. The fighting was terrible. The choreography was terrible. The girl power.
I actually thought like that it was like some sort of like modern heist that they got so many A-list actors to be in that movie, and then like
a 60-year-old Rosie Perez trying to fight a bunch of guys on motorcycles. You're like, this is not good.
And Canary screamed once.
Yeah, and I didn't like her. I Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I love her, but they misused her as Huntress too. Like, I don't know, she just didn't really sell the character for me. I did not like that movie, but I like her as an actress. She's good. She's going to be in. I think they're saying she's Hela.
Really?
Or not Hela, Hera. Hera.
Hera.
Hera in Ahsoka. How cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
I like that casting.
I will. I'll bite.
Mm-hmm.
I do love this cover though. I mean, not for Harley in the background.
Oh, it's a great cover. Yeah.
I just have always loved the cover. I like the whole like spray painted girl is very Harley Quinn, and then that friggin' trade dress from the animated series is so good. So I've always thought the cover was really was a banger for sure.
It's amazing. This book is surrounded by a bunch of dollar books, and then you got this one. It's just like $1,000 right in the middle there.
But it actually has like, if you look at the whole adventure series, it's raised them all to the point where they're like $6, $7.
Yeah. So
books.
there's like, I think after this book, there's like 6 more Harley books, and one of them is Cold as Ice or Mad Love. That one sells for a good amount of money. That's like her second appearance. And then Cold as Ice, the first Mr. Freeze one, I think does okay.
That's a one-shot, though, right?
That's a one-shot. But it's in the Batman Adventure, the Batman
Is
animated
that
series.
The holiday special one with the Freeze?
Yeah,
I have that one.
Yeah, it's a good book. I don't know if it doesn't command a lot of money, but it's definitely of the
this
Batman.
One?
Yes, that one.
Yep, I have that. Yeah, it's like a $30 book.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, her first in continuity
Bruce Timm
is
stuff.
Is the Alex Ross cover, which is also a one shot, is it not?
It's a one shot. It's one of those books that it's like you and the Secret Wars 8. I just would rather find it in the wild and not buy it. But I've never come across it. Like, I love that cover. I love.
You got to figure You got to figure
I
it's probably a tough book to find in a high grade too, just because it was
Probably
targeted.
all
It
the
was
black,
a kid's book.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, Chris, I've seen it twice, but because it's like that, whatever you call that format, like it's basically uh, graphic novel format. It's got a
Yeah.
glossy cover with a
It's got a
card stock, and so
Mhm.
like when you crack them to read them, it the whole
Yeah.
spine is going to have a white line down it
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it's the card stock and it was overcoated with a glossy finish. So
Yep.
yeah, I think this is a great book. I would love to find this book in a collection. I think if this book ever comes to me, that's the way it's going to happen, probably in a collection or something. Although I guess you could probably get lucky if there's a box or two of comics, maybe at a random flea market or yard sale,
Sure.
Yeah.
possibly.
Yeah.
But the chances of that happening and it being really high grade are a different story.
I know I've had heart palpitations a few times when I've bought collections and there's a run of Batman Adventures in there, and sure enough, it skips right over it, and you're like, but I've got a few like third, fourth appearance Harley Quinns, which they're like $20 books, but yeah, never had this in a collection, and the one I do have, like I said, has a stupid store stamp right in the middle of her chest, so.
Yeah, Harley Quinn's first 10 appearances do better than some characters like Ghost Rider.
It's amazing.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know. That's why I said, like, you got a book from '93. It's $1,000 in high grade, and would you rather spend that $1,000 on like a Hulk 180, which is where I would rather put my money right now, or maybe even like a 4.0 of FF48,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I can't say this.
No
is
contest.
I can't say this is a bad investment though, because it's
No
got
doubt.
legs.
The only thing I think in terms of like truly modern, and this is in that like should there be another classification because it's from 1993? It'll be 30 years old this year.
Yeah.
But this thing's been able to drink for 9 years. So,
Right.
but like I think other than like Miles or like some of those the only thing that I would really invest in modern wise, if I was investing money, is really rare variants of some of those key books. Like
that's kind of what I've been doing behind the scenes. Whenever
Filoni.
Whenever there's like a book that pops, or I think something I'm specking on something, I immediately look if there's like a 1 in 20 or 1 in 50 or a black and white cover. Like, I'm always looking for the variant versions instead of that book, because that's where the money is. But
Right.
even that Hulk 1 variant, it's like $500. Even that Tosin, that Black Panther variant of 1 in 50, that's like a $500 book already. The Cad Bane Darth Maul cover, like, you ever see that one? That's awesome cover, but it's like $600.
Is it really?
Yeah. Did you ever see that cover? I love that cover. It's a white book with Darth Maul in like splatter paint with his lightsaber up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Cad Bane variant, the like 1 in 50 variant. It's like $600 book.
Damn.
It's beautiful. But I immediately went to that when I was investing in Cad Bane. I was like, I can't. It's too rich for my blood.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear that a majority of the Djevik Ultimate Fallout 4s were in like freaking packs that they had at Five Below? Like,
Get out of here, really?
They said because
Wow.
a lot of those did not get bought, and I can't remember whose channel I was watching, but there was many of them were ended up being in packs, and Five Below didn't even move comics for long, but they ended up being in these like overrun packs that they could have got from Five freaking Below.
Oh,
Could you imagine?
That also
in
makes me think, though, that
2012
how many got destroyed because they didn't sell.
Well, that's right, yeah.
Because Five
could you
Below is the
imagine-
last chance for those.
I was gonna say, can you imagine in 2012, 2013, picking up an early stage Squishmallow for your kid and a pack of a 3-pack of comics of Five Below?
Yeah,
You're $10 deep, at that point.
that's nuts.
Crazy. All right, well,
Yeah,
moving on.
what
to-
haven't we said about 316? I love the
I
cover.
mean, it's just an incredible cover. Yeah, this
Incredible
book
cover.
This cover looks great as a poster. It looks great as a comic book. It looks great, etched out of wood.
Mhm.
Like, it's just a really cool cover.
And congratulations to my friend Fernando. He scored a 9.8 on this. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, this book has come down considerably because it was crazy during the
Yeah.
2021 boom. But like, you can see it's getting those strong sales again. So
Mhm.
yeah, 9.8, and it doesn't look like. It says newsstands also showed strong sales over the average in high grades. This issue's newsstands command a premium over the direct, but I mean, pretty strong 9.8s for $925. Fernando's was a newsstand, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a newsstand.
So I think this one does like 1.5 times in a 9.8 a newsstand. Like, it's something. There's a pretty big premium.
Yeah.
Which
It's
probably,
so funny when I see this book. I don't think of it as 1989, but it's McFarlane.
You think of it as like newer? You mean?
Earlier, actually. It just,
okay.
I don't know. It makes me think of an earlier Spider-Man book, but yeah, that's the run. What's 300?
Like an 80s book.
300 is 80,
It's
88. 88.
Yep. Yeah, it's 88.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
this is a great book. If you don't have one already and you can find one for cheap, get one. A 9.0 for 185 is not, that's not a bad buy.
I think that's what Jimmy's is, if I'm not mistaken. But Jimmy's might have been an 8.0, but it's a newsstand.
Yeah.
Or some 8.0, 8.5.
He had some staining going on. I remember that.
Yeah, which I think was in the UPC, which is almost impossible to get out.
Yeah.
Century 1. I don't know that I've literally ever seen this book in a shop or anything.
Really?
I mean, I know I haven't been back in the game that long, and I know I haven't gone to a lot of shows, but I haven't really seen this book.
Yeah, I've been hunting for. I'll show the variants. I've been hunting for this one, the Comic-Con book. That's the one I wanted to get. It looks like Frank Miller. I think it might even be Frank Miller. But that's
cool.
That's the book I was looking for, and that goes. I think it's less than. Oh no,
Jay
it's
Lee.
Jay Lee. I would have thought that was Frank Miller.
Yeah.
That's cool though. It's got
this
that
one
If you told me it was Frank Miller, I would have believed you.
Yeah, this one I don't like the Rosen cover. I think it's.
Is it
sloppy.
because because it looks like a child
It
drill?
looks like a magnet on top of on top of a cow.
Look at that
Top
foot.
of a cow.
That foot looks like it's like my kids can't stand when I wear socks and they're not tight to my foot. That's what looks like. That's an unwanted sock right there.
Sentry on top of Rorschach's mask.
Yeah,
But
this one doesn't command a lot either. They send the highest $50. I know that Sentry one it's like $100 book now if you look on eBay.
What is it? Says something about the Jay Lee cover reinforced the heat on this book with 2 sales that outpaced the average. So, see, the Jay Lee's getting some love though. A 9.8 sold for $300. So
I mean, they're harder to find.
Strong.
It's a con variant, so they couldn't have made that many of them.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple thousand, maybe 4,000.
That cover's got to be tough though. I mean, it's black, almost edge to edge.
Yeah.
Is this foil or is it not?
No, it's not foil.
Okay, so it's just like a yellow print.
It's just yellow.
Okay. Yeah, but that's from the Marvel Knights run, and that paper stock can be finicky.
Yeah. I bought mine a long time ago. This was an earlier one on the list.
Would you say you got it when you bought it?
What's that?
Would you say that you got it when you bought it?
Yes.
Or you've had it since you bought it?
I had it since I bought it.
Would you say it feels like it was about a century ago?
Yeah.
When you bought it?
Yeah.
Boom.
But you want to know something funny is I think I probably like when I bought it 10 years ago, I think I bought it for $100.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been one of these books that's kind of
stable.
It actually is from the turn of the century. It's from 2000. So
Oh my God.
that Marvel Knights run was longer than I thought. Because the Daredevil stuff starts in '98, I want to say, and maybe the Black Panther even a little bit earlier than that, like '97.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
hopefully Michael's enjoying this because Jimmy would be hating us right now. It is we're rolling into our 3rd hour on this top 10.
Are we really?
No.
How long are we going for?
No. It's
Yeah.
1 a.m.
1 hour, 24 minutes. We're doing all right.
So Hulk won. I mean, we've
I
talked
love it.
we've talked about that almost ad nauseam.
I
Point.
did get another copy of Hulk #2, the variant, the 1 in 20. I love this cover so much.
Nice.
That is a great
The
cover.
1 in
That's
1
cool.
in 20 variant. I love it.
Isn't that so? They remember they did that like kind of fan image of Harrison Ford as Thunderbolt Ross. That's
Yeah, I
kind
saw
of like
that.
what I think. I realize the picture looks like that cover there. This
But
book
they
is
gave
interesting.
they gave Harrison Ford a mustache in that like fan art. It looked ridiculous.
You're like, why?
Don't
does he
give
have
Red
the-
Hulk a mustache.
Yeah, why does he have the same mustache
I
that
don't
J.
know.
Jonah Jameson has?
Yeah, exactly.
This
I love
book
this
is-
book.
It's interesting though, that this buzz has been around for like about a month and a half now, and just this week you see record breakers or big jumps in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6
But
grades
but
this
does-
week.
So here's the thing, and we always debate it. Is that the power of Key Collector? Because Hulk 1's been on the list for what, 3 weeks in a row now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So is that the power of Key Collector now influencing the market? So like people were buying in, and now people see the app, and they're like, "Oh shit, I got to get in." So it's just
Could be.
FOMO affecting a lot of people. Like maybe I should get on this Hulk #1 game. I mean,
could be.
yeah, you're right. We knew about this a long time ago. We also knew that Red Hulk is the cornerstone of the Thunderbolts. Like he's a big part of it. So once
I mean, I certainly would not be buying this book right now because it's so freaking. It's definitely
it's a bit
one
high.
of those hot books right now. But like, holy crap, the difference between a 9.6 and 9.8 is so staggering right now. Like,
because
when you're buying your book raw, if you're trying to get a 9.8, you better be very sure about that
Right.
that book, especially if you're paying, if you're paying graded prices for raw books. Like,
This
you
is-
better be really sure.
Yeah, we've said this in the past too. When you're talking about ultra modern books, this is a 2008 book. It's a 9.8 or nothing. Nobody wants anything less. It's a modern book. It better be mint.
Right.
But here we're gonna look at the variants now because there's the 1 in 20, awesome Daniel Acuna cover. They got 2 versions of this. This is the 1 in 50, and then this 1 in 50 variant. They're both Ed McGuinness, like the one I have. This is 5,000 copies, and I forgot what's interesting about this. It's just got an atomic thing. And then there's the
That cover's hilarious because it's like just when you thought he couldn't have any more ridiculous muscles than on the A cover,
yeah, I know.
you see these other covers,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, all right, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you could draw with more muscle.
So this one's only 4,000 copies. Well,
That one has the muscles on the outside.
That's got the muscles on his muscles.
Yeah. That's a Liefeldian with those muscles right there.
That's a lot of sausage links. Look at the
That's
sausage.
a lot of sausage
That's
links.
a lot of sausage. I like the
Red
Acuna
Hulk,
cover.
brought to you by Jimmy Dean.
It's kind of got an Adam
Acuna
Hughes.
cover- yeah, but it looks a little Red Skullish too.
Yeah.
It's like his nose is almost gone. He's got a big lip, big
And
upper lip.
then there's the newsstand, of course. That one goes for Big Buddy.
Mhm. He's definitely roiding out though.
He's roiding.
Yeah,
Well, he's a lot angrier.
He's juiced.
He's angrier, much angrier.
he's used.
Anyway, like you said, you have to buy a 9.8, but it's a little expensive right now.
Right.
A
Yes.
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want the
Buyer-
the
Buyer beware.
yeah Harrison Ford news to subside a little bit, and maybe you get this book for $250 in 3 months.
Yeah, and if you buy it now, only buy it because you really want it, not because you think like there's this huge long-term money in it. You have to be okay if the waters recede and it's $100 less than what you bought it at. If that's where you want to buy it.
And that's kind of same thing. We keep talking about it. Like the market is a lot of new young people that are just they're driven by fear of missing out.
Yeah.
They're buying these books because this app tells them to, which is good for us in some ways and not good for us in other ways if we don't have these books and we want them, because it drives the price so much. But I mean, this is the influence of Key Collector. Like me and Chris were at the warehouse sale, and literally a guy is talking into his phone. Black Orchid #2.
It's like no.
And it's like, he should know these books. Like if you're
Sure. Yeah.
he's like Black
That's
Cross.
That's like a $2 book.
Second print. Black Cross second print. We're like, all right.
Also, dude, if you're in that scenario where there's like 20,000 books in front of you and you have to do that, forget about it. You're going to be there for 3 weeks.
Jason, I am not joking you. There was 4 dudes and a dude in a chair. And those 4 dudes were all over the room and bringing books to this dude in the chair who was just looking stuff up and putting things in piles. Like, want it, don't want it. But they were blocking a whole area because they were just, like, grabbing whatever. They don't even know why they're grabbing it. They're just pulling, like 2,000 Spider-Man books. Like, nobody wants that crap. And they're just, like, putting in his lap because they just see Spider-Man. They're like, who's Spider-Man? Look it up. He's like, nah, it's nothing. But he has to look every single thing up on eBay or Key Collector. I don't know. This app is good and it's not good at the same time,
Right.
I'll tell you what, it's nice when you're tearing through a run. Like, I don't know much about some those like 2000s like New 52 runs. Most of them are worthless. Even Rebirth are mostly worthless. But every once in a while you'll see like a first appearance in there, and I would never have known that it's the first appearance of some person or whatever. Right. So it's handy for when you're tearing through a run, especially when you're like, I have to just find 20. I have to find 38. Done. It's nice. Right. But otherwise, like when there's a person like you, Jason, who actually over a year's time has actually done his homework and learned comics, and that's kind of, you going through a room like that, it's kind of has to be visual cues instead of having to look things up.
That's still like wildly overwhelming to me, but like I have to be okay if I miss.
But then you're educated enough where you know what you know, and you pass on what you don't. And
Chris and I talked the night before because we weren't sure what it was going to be, and I said, if it's 70s, you want to at least look into these books. You know what I mean? Like, because you should be aware that there's stuff to look at. You got.
And believe me, I was looking stuff up the night before and just trying to keep certain things fresh in my mind. But once we got there, I was like, oh, this is a completely different ball game.
And how often have we talked literally on these chats about like some books now? I think you've said it, Dolph, like once Daredevil popped, right? Daredevil 1 popped. Mm-hmm. The rest of that first Daredevil run all got some respect. Like,
that's why, there were 2, and they were around number 50 Daredevil books, and what do you want, $10 each, $15 each? So I grabbed them. But I'll tell you what I do when I see a big collection like that, and there wasn't I did say doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
There wasn't a lot of it, but I will always give a good look to a 25 cent or below. So or 20 cent or below. So if it's 20-cent book of any title, I'll give it a good once over. If it's in good condition and under $10 or under $5, I'll buy it. Always. I always like grabbing 20 centers.
Especially if they're the titles that we're talking about. Like, just 3 years ago, nobody gave 2 craps about Silver Surfer's OG run, like after issue 5 or whatever, and now now there's like the Spider-Man and Silver Surfer book raw is like $150 book.
I remember going through Rick's $2 sections and pulling out 20-cent Fantastic Four books by the stacks. Like I was just buying them all up. Like,
I gotta grab some.
I mean, if they put them in there, I'll buy them all day long. Like 20-cent FF, 20-cent whatever.
Yeah.
It's a good buy. 20-cent under $5 in decent shape, I'll buy them all day long.
Yeah, that's why I was also a little upset about those Volume 1 Swamp Things. I was like,
yeah.
But the ones that I have are in really nice shape.
Oh, he did have 2 in the front.
He had 2 of them. Number 6 was completely like falling off of the staples.
Yeah.
I was just saying, were they too expensive or were they hosed?
Oh, they were hosed.
He had a Hulk annual too, the Marie Severin Steranko cover, but the detached cover. He wanted $75 for it. was like, that's even too much. I would have bouought
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
to have it,
that
but
really is.
detached cover kills it.
Yeah.
Well, it's square bound, right? So the detached cover is actually like, is it severed
not
at
square
that point in time? Huh? Oh, it's not square bound. Okay.
Nope, because it was falling off. Either the top staple was popped right off. All right, he's still
This
there.
is the, yeah. I was gonna say this is like, didn't he just come back? Like this is his first week back.
I don't get it. I still don't
It's like
get
that.
it.
It's like what is his first appearance? The cover on that Savage Tales. What does it say? In the Return of the Man Thing or Giant Man Thing or whatever. Like this is like the Return of the Man Thing.
Giant sized man thing.
He came back.
I don't.
And these are pretty strong sales too.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
They can't have ever read Man Thing. Every time I see it, I'm just like, these books are terrible.
This is some serious strength though off of Werewolf by Night. I mean, we're going on
for real, yeah.
We're going on 6 weeks now, maybe longer, of this book. Like, you know, I mean, it was great appearance in that show. Anybody who's listening who hasn't seen it, Werewolf by Night was really, really good.
I am really surprised. I mean, 74 is old, right? But it's not super old. I'm surprised at like the strength of these higher grades. Like a 9.0, $388. A 9.2, well, if you're gonna get a 9.2 for $2 more than getting the 9.2, but if you're gonna spend $390 in the first place, but man, that is impressive on this book at this point.
Yeah, I know. Some strong sales, but I mean, once again, we're gonna say, is this the influence of Key Collector? You know,
I mean, I guess there's a little bit of that, but man, people did go crazy for this book based on that one appearance. You know, it seems like it is much harder to predict now how any kind of TV or movie is going to impact. I was watching this week's Bronze and Modern Gods today, and they were just saying about how before, if you said the show was really good, you could see a considerable bump. But these he was saying, I just finished Sandman, which was incredible. It doesn't seem to have done that much to the books. Like they had an initial little surge. Certainly 1 and 8 had the initial surge, but the series is great, and it's not. You know.
See, you know what I think the biggest difference between like something like Sandman and Man Thing here is that Man Thing kind of came out of nowhere, and the Werewolf by Night movie was just really, really good, and it's Marvel. So that jumped up, you know, Man Thing, it's going to jump up Werewolf by Night. Sandman has always been a solid book. Sure. It's a good read. It's like won every friggin' award. It's Neil Gaiman. Like,
did they cancel it, or did they say yes to a season 2?
Well,
it looks like it's season 2, right?
But it was supposed to get a season 2, but the problem is that Amazon bought out whoever owns the rights to Sandman, and so Netflix may not be getting a season 2. It's like this weird exchange between Amazon Prime.
I know they're going to do it kind of like they did the TV series, where it's just going to be anthology, where it's like each episode is like a story within itself and not really an overarching story. It's kind of like when you watch
like an Amazing Tales kind of a thing.
Yeah, I was going to say when you watched like Heavy Metal the first time, it's the kid talking to the floating silver ball, and then you get a story out of each one.
Right.
Kind of like that. Like, you know, Sandman is the character that stays, but I mean, I love the one where he gave that guy immortality, and they kept meeting every 50 years at the bar, like
every 100 years.
Every 100 years. I mean, there was some really solid episodes. That death episode was absolutely amazing. It was an amazing episode. It was a really good show.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
interesting. Like,
I think it's definitely going to get a season 2. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of it's a matter of is it going to be on Netflix or Amazon.
Yeah.
I think that the buyout's going to have nothing to do
Yeah.
with this. I think Sandman's going to be on Netflix personally.
Chris, you make a really interesting point though, because like the things that seem to get critical acclaim without necessarily being the most mainstream, like like Watchmen or something like that.
Right.
You don't see the bigger, these wild bumps in.
Well, Watchmen struggled because they didn't have any of the original characters. Had it
Right.
been like Rorschach or the comedian or the
Right,
then
but I
it
mean,
would've
like,
been- yeah,
even I thought the Watchmen movie wasn't bad. Like,
I thought it was great.
did
It
I.
was really good.
but and that had a lot of the characters, but just not quite as accessible. Even that movie wasn't quite as accessible. I actually thought
Right.
Sin City, the movie, was more accessible because of how comic book accurate and comic book stylized it was.
Sin City was
So
great.
it felt very accessible in that manner. But yeah, you're definitely right on the nose, Chris. Like, it's just not, and to some extent maybe it's not dumbed down for a wider audience. Like, it's not, it's not. They're not quite as interested in, in it looking like a comic book or feeling like a comic book. Like.
Right.
And
so-
like another thing is like you've seen lasting value on something like Scarlet Witch and Vision, but not so much on Moon Knight. Moon Knight's kind of took a dump. So Moon Knight wasn't a bad show.
I liked it.
I like
liked
Moon
it
Knight a
too.
lot.
Yeah, Moon Knight was great. But
I
none
just-
of those books surrounding it really stuck around. Like even
Yeah.
that,
I just think that that in general the rule of thumb is if it's a Marvel movie and or series, then the book is gonna jump up. You're not gonna see the same kind of jumps and the longevity of the jumps with anything other than that. Because
Yeah, I agree.
even like Invincible is dropping, has been dropping.
Yeah, but that's season 2. You know what? That's good for me because I'm buying it all up. I love.
Yeah, and once
Yeah.
the next season drops, it's gonna skyrocket right back up because the show's
Actually,
amazing.
Kind of surprised the next season hasn't dropped. What's it been like? 14,
Well,
15?
because they didn't know they were going to get re-signed. Like, where you would already be working on a season 2, they
Yeah.
had pretty much stopped everything until they got word of a season 2, and now they just went back to work. But I'm telling you right now, for all those Invincible, nobody that you don't know anything about Invincible, start getting your Conquest books because he's shooting in season 2. Conquest
I just mean
is an
like
awesome character.
I just meant like I guess I think like, and this is not to dumb down that series at all, but like the art on that is like not quite as it's not as fine like it's kind of a stylized simplistic art a little bit.
Yeah, Ryan Otley is one of my favorite artists. I love
Right.
his work.
I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not like
Yeah.
it's not like there's a billion lines that create each character.
I mean,
Right.
that's why
And
I
that-
love when he draws Spider-Man too. Like it's the same thing. It's very
So
simplified. I love his Spider-Man.
I
It's
guess
like-
that's why I thought they could probably fast track the animation a little bit better in something like that than if they were,
Yeah.
creating
definitely.
worlds.
Yeah,
You're right.
it looks kind of like Rick and Morty.
It does look
3D
like,
modeling, yeah.
it is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of like shading either. It's just like
Yeah,
it's
there's
very flat.
There's big blocks of color in that, and lots of blood spatter.
Oh man,
Yeah.
it gets
It
worse.
works.
Yeah, if you like that first episode,
Oh yeah, it's gonna be terrible.
You're gonna love season 2.
It's gonna be horrible.
It's gonna be horrible. Yeah, I love Invincible so much. It's definitely one of my favorite books ever.
So
And I
this-
got it when I bought it. That's
It's
a long
amazing.
You sure
man
did.
thing.
It's amazing how that trails you. That buying stuff and getting it at the same time is crazy.
That is it's impressive.
Yeah.
My
This
headphones are
book,
cutting out.
Yeah, here's my one.
Yes.
Still here.
And
Still
it's-
here.
And it's number 1.
Christopher, is yours graded?
It is not. Dolph, did I give this one to you or no? Not yet.
Oh, I gotta look. I haven't seen your pile in a while. I gotta start working on you and Jeff and Jason and
Dude,
My other friend Jeff.
look at that 9.8. That 9.8 is getting the ultra modern bump, even though this book's from 1983. Holy
Yeah.
I'm
guacamole!
telling you, man. When I
It's two
tell
and a
you
half
that,
times the difference for 9.8 versus
this
9.6.
kills me.
I got
Two,
such a good deal on this
two,
book. I'm
two,
laughing now.
2017 Comic Con. I bought 5 of these for $5 a piece in like
Yikes.
mint. Crazy.
Mine's not mint, but I think it's a solid 9.0.
It's a easy cover and high grade too. It's card stock. It's this one's pretty. I mean, if it's been taken care of, you'll find them in higher grade more than you won't.
Yeah.
It's crazy that this book there's not even $100 difference between 8.0 and 9.6, and then there's a almost $300 difference between 9.6 and 9.8. That's crazy.
Just goes to show you, it's these it's mint or not.
Yep.
Yeah. Dolph, what is do you have your CGC open? Like, what is? I'd be interested to find out what the population count is on this book.
I've not been having a good time finding population counts on CGC.
Oh, really? Okay.
It doesn't. I don't know. CGC pop report.
Yeah, because I would imagine that people have been getting this graded for a long time.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
One second.
This was kind of. I think Lobo was kind of forgotten about.
Yeah. I remember seeing this book at like freaking. What is it called? Jimmy and I used to go to the King of Prussia Mall. There was a comic shop in there for flipping ever. And I remember this comic on the wall when I was like 9 or 10, as a wall book, because it was probably worth $20 at that point. And then, like Dolph said, it became, even a lesser book for a long time. And now people are I do love, too, that basically this is based on a tweet or whatever, or a post from Jason Momoa saying like, I'd like to play him. And I was like, and then everybody's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Jason Momoa looks a lot like this dude,
Well, no, I think James Gunn has also hinted at it as well.
No, I know, but it's like,
okay.
Now it's like went from one tweet to 2 tweets, like, 2 tweets have caused a book that's 40 years old this year to quadruple or quintuple in price. I mean, if that happens, how far down the road, like 2.5, 3 years before we'd see that film or property,
So there's 2,800 9/8s.
Oh,
holy crap!
And there's 2,300 9/6s, and there's 1,300 9/4s. So everybody's sending them in. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's been graded 8,000 times.
It's not going to be. That right there. Just kind of. It's not going to be a huge book.
You're better off, because I know there's people out there that do this. You're better off crunching it up, making it a 3.5, and selling it, because some people like the rainbow, and they'll pay top dollar for like a 3.5. Because there is no 3.5s. I heard that once. There was a guy, and there's a lot of collectors. Somebody was doing it with the 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr., and there was like a graded 2.0, and it went for crazy amounts of money because somebody wanted one of every grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. 8,000 times.
Yeah, there's just as many 9/8s as there are 9/6s, just about.
So, like just for S's and G's, let's pick a classic Silver Age book that people generally like FF49 or something like that. What is the total population of that? Well, that's a book you'd imagine people would send in more often because of the significance, right?
Yeah, but this is also cheaper to get graded too.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, cheaper to get graded. That's true. Like at this point in time, it is certainly cheaper to get graded. But just the idea that, I guess that's what I was getting at earlier. Like, so population count matters.
49 has been graded 5,500 times. The bulk of it is right in that 5.0 to 4.0 range. There are 2 9/8s. There are 15 9/6s and 35 9/4s. So in high grade, it's very rare. I know.
Yeah. So the difference between this, what did we say, 5100 and 9.6 and 9.8 versus the FF49
versus 30, 40, 52.
52 in the top three
grades. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
9.4 to 9.8, there's 52 books. So super rare and high grade.
Yeah, we've looked at a couple books like Hulk 1, right? There's like, and I think Hulk 1 and AF15 is not even a single 9.8.
There's no 9.8 of Hulk 1. I think there's a couple there's a few 9.6s, I think.
And there's
but
no, I don't think
there is no
9.8 of
Amazing
Fantasy.
Fantasy.
Not a single 9.8 of Amazing Fantasy. I don't.
There's a couple of 9.6s. The one that sold for $3 million was a 9.6 too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There are no 9.8s.
I could only imagine what a 9.8 would command.
Well, 9.6 sold for, and it'll be a pop 1. So name your price, man. 10 million.
Right.
You can name your price. That's crazy.
10 million.
Billion. Let's look at Incredible Hulk 181. That's like a 1975 book that.
That's saying 74. There's got to be 10,000.
Right, so the 16,000 times it's been graded. 16,000.
It's still gonna have a very small count at the top.
But out of those 16,000, 1,000 of them are missing stamps.
Ugh.
Wow.
Only 1,000?
Only of the 16,000, 1,000 of them are missing stamps. 1,400 are autographed, and 900 are restored. So there's 13,000 universals.
Out of that 1,000, how many people do you think realized that it was missing the stamp?
Yeah. Seriously. So
not a one.
So the bulk,
200.
The bulk of this book, actually, grades are in the 8.5 to 7.5 range. The bulk of them. There is one 9.9. There is actually one 9.9.
There's a 9.9.
There's 149 1/8s and 300.
That 9.9 is owned by Black Flag Comics.
Wow, and 100 and 383 9.6s.
How many 9.8s did you say?
There's 150 9.8s.
Okay.
Wow, I can't believe there's a 9.9 of this book. That's got to be.
That's insane.
It's got to be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. That's crazy. A book from '74 to get a 9.9 is nuts.
It radiates red.
It's like a Dreamweaver from Wayne's World.
Yeah, right.
Dreamweaver.
And a whammy ball.
That book though, like out of 13,000, there's not even 450 that are in those top 2 grades, right?
Yeah.
So
I just feel like that. So the paper wasn't bad in the 70s, but the ink wasn't great. The ink rubbed off really easily, so there's a lot of rub on all of those like 70 books. There's a lot of like the color doesn't last on the paper. Not like the early stuff. Like the early stuff, when you see a book that has red on it, it almost looks like it's like blood. It's so deep and so thick, and it is crazy. Red books on like early silver and golden age stuff. The red is amazing. It's absolutely stunning. The colors, they don't do that anymore. It probably also has lead in it.
Right.
I wonder if that ever was a thing. If there was ever lead in early comics.
Lead paint.
Don't eat them, kids.
Don't eat the comics. Yeah. I wonder.
I can't remember which account it was. It was like Grails or one of those things I saw on Instagram today. It was a Detective 2. It's got like that cover with like that thug, like that kind of on it. And the red was so vibrant. Theirs was a 5.0 or a 5.5. It was incredible how the color of it,
Yeah, red is amazing. The older the books, the red is amazing.
Yeah, that's as much a reason as I would love to have a couple Golden Age books in my collection, just because of the color and the art is so cool. Michael's saying there's a little bit of a static, yeah.
Me, Michael. Oh, you know why? Because I know why. I put my phone right above my microphone thing.
Phone
How
interference.
about now? I might have to reset my microphone.
Yeah, here you go. Here's that red.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I okay now, Michael, or still? I'll just
You still
reset
got
my
a
mic.
couple of books left, Christopher? You didn't sell them all yet?
Don't hear it now. Yeah, it's because I put my phone directly over my.
I have two left.
Two.
Of those, yeah. Oh God, those are beautiful.
Did you keep any of the Frazettas, or did you sell everything?
I sold everything.
Yeah, you did all right. What's that one go for?
This one goes for about 700.
That one?
Mm-hmm.
Very clever.
And then this
Weird.
one's about 200.
Yeah.
Weird news.
Thank you, Michael. All right, well, that's it for Key Collector.
Yeah, that's it for the top 10. 2
Yeah.
hours later.
This is the one that has the bit of a roll going on.
Yeah, if you want, I'll take a look at it for you. I'll definitely
Yeah.
fix it.
I would love for you to.
Those
What
are all
else?
from like 52, Christopher?
56.
Okay.
Yeah, 56.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on. Lucy's got her first ever travel volleyball tournament this weekend.
Oh, nice.
It's in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I'm trying to get her to agree to go to some antique malls in between her bouts.
It's tough.
She did say that if I took her to Chick-fil-A, I could get to go to one antique
Oh,
mall.
come on.
And I was like, do you even know that there's a Chick-fil-A there? And she said she did not. So
See, where Nick is old enough where I could just leave him in the car and let him play on his phone for like 3 hours, you can't do that with Lucy.
well, it's really interesting. So we got her tournament is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or I'm sorry, Saturday, Sunday, Monday because it's MLK weekend. And on Saturday, for whatever reason, the schedule came out and her team plays 3 1-hour games, but everything's in the first 4 hours of the day. Everything's between 8 and noon.
Nice.
I was like, what do we do
Right.
from noon till
Yeah.
the next day, Sunday? You
I
know,
always
like
hated about Nick's travel. It's like you have a game at like 10 a.m. and the next game's like 6 p.m. and you're like, God, what are we gonna do?
that's
Well,
what
I
I
got-
thought it was going to be
Got
like. Yeah.
mystery packs from John G. Can't wait for those.
Nice.
I have something else here too. I don't know what any of this is. I don't even know what I'm getting anymore. This might be filled with Batman cards. I don't know.
I lucked out. Weston does not take any interest in athletics.
Oh, this is socks. Yeah, right. This is socks. So I got socks, mail call. Socks from
Oh,
Amazon.
fantastic.
Isn't that nice?
Wow. What do those go for?
$11.99.
I don't think that's going to increase the.
What's the census?
viewership a lot.
What's the census on those socks?
If you're doing stock unboxing,
Yeah, the pop count is millions.
well, you could be called. You could call your channel Grandma's Christmas Present or Grandma's Christmas Present Morning Breaks because
Yeah.
that's what you get: socks and underwear.
I have
Like,
I have some nice
Best gift ever.
yeah, I have some nice Batman cards coming. I can't wait for those to get here.
What is that set? Is what 100 cards? 100 and some.
I
odd
actually
cards?
don't know the checklist. I did, but I
Okay.
did get 2 copies of number 1.
Okay.
They're beater, but I don't care. That's a tough card.
'Cause didn't you say the checklist is expensive too, right? The actual checklist is a hard card to get.
It always is unmarked. The
Okay.
same with Mars Attacks. The checklist is just as much as the first card, if not a little bit less. But the checklist unmarked could be in the thousands if it's high grade.
Here's a question: did you guys ever mark a checklist when you were kids? I can't
did.
remember myself ever doing that.
I definitely did.
Once.
I definitely did.
I can't remember myself, and they had the boxes there too to literally check off, but I can't remember myself
Yeah.
doing it. Anything.
I didn't typically, but I can distinctly remember myself marking one of them. Like, I'm going to keep track.
Yeah, I think even at a young age, it was like these boxes are too small.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I didn't trust myself that this would be an accurate guide. You know, like because the boxes were so tiny.
Right. And I only had pencils back then, so.
strictly zero pen clause in the Crumb household.
Yeah.
I gotta show you this too. I got this in. I barely spent anything for it. 1948 exhibits. Eddie Collins. Thought that was really cool, and he's a Hall of Famer.
Cool. Yeah,
look at him, ears. He's about to take off.
Yeah, he is. I thought that was really cool. This is one of those exhibit cards from 1948.
Coincidentally, that's who Dumbo was based on.
Yeah. No, that would be what the hell's his name? Not Gil McDougall. I forgot his name. Damn it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. McDougall.
Oh man, the temperature must have dropped. It's cold in this basement.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, these are those, and they're really nice shape too. These are those Planet of the Apes cards. They're all really nice.
No, those are cool.
Those are cool.
Yeah, these are from '67.
Where they must have been manufactured by the same company as the Batmans because they have that same kind of look. With
They do. Batman's Tops, so this is not Tops.
Oh, okay.
This is the
Not Tops.
Appjack Productions in 20th Century Fox. Oh, it is Tops Chewing Gum. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the border and the text box are so similar.
Dr. Zaius. I haven't seen
That
Planet
almost
of the
looks
Apes in a long time. Those are nice cards. Really nice.
That almost looks like the Hot Wheels script, doesn't it?
It does look like Hot Wheels.
Stylized scroll.
Yeah, this is. Look at that. Robin's fighting back. Crunch.
Crunch.
Look at that.
I love this set, man. These cards are so awesome.
Are these ones higher grade than what you had before?
Some of them are. This is Catwoman. I mean, the centering, they're a little soft. I would say these are probably like 5s, but they're still really cool. Yeah, I got this too. It's this what is it? A '59 Elston Howard I got for $1. It's a nice shape too.
I very much like the randomness of this pile of cards that you're bringing.
So random, but that's what I've been looking for, like high grade. Like I've just been swiping high grade stuff like late at night.
High grade, or you had a graded Dumbo card.
Graded Dumbo.
Then you showed us
Dumbo.
Then went straight to Robin cracking somebody.
Don't forget,
And then
Brunch.
don't forget
right back.
Stevie
Stevie.
Wonder, high grade
yeah.
Stevie.
Very superstitious.
Good stuff.
Well, clearly the writing's on the wall.
Without a doubt.
The dad jokes. You're killing me with the dad jokes.
Well, if the shoe fits.
I guess.
Yeah.
Are we done here?
So, yeah, I think we're done. I think next week I hope to be able to at least buy a comic book this week as opposed to last week.
Me too.
And
I'm gonna. If the weather's nice, I'll probably run out to Meadowlands on Saturday morning if I can. If it's nice.
are they still? Is it year round?
Yeah, all year. As long as there's no torrential downpours or snow on the ground. But even then, they bring in the heavy equipment and they clear the parking lot. Somebody did tell me though that they want them out of there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Daniel Jones? Does Daniel Jones want them out there?
I don't know.
Is it what's his face Wilson? That kid's got a snackable.
Daniel
face.
Jones like go deep, and they just let him keep going. But never throws
Paul.
the ball. Goodbye. Thanks, Paul. So also, me and Chris were talking we should do like an outro. Where can they find you on the socials or whatever? Jason, you want to start?
Just Two Ben Staples on
Two Ben Staples.
Two Ben Staples Comics on the Instagram.
Cool. And Chris?
I am Crumb's Comic Pile on the Instagram, TikTok, and whatnot. You can pretty much find me all those places.
All right, cool. And you know where to find me. I'm Junkyard Breaks on TikTok, Instagram, and, of course, the YouTube channel. And that's it, boys. Thanks for the chat. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for everybody in the Paul, Michael. Thanks for
absolutely for the comments.
Chatting. Yeah.
Nighty night. Keep your buttholes tight.
Keep it.
That should be
That's it.
the all.
That's it. That's the end.
What was it? 99. Keep your buttholes
Keep your
tight.
buttholes tight.
Keep your buttholes tight.
Good night. All right, guys.
Good night.
See you next week.
Oh, God.